So this is a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. Not sure what time of day it is for you, but for me, it's a good time of day. However, right now, this is not good news if this turns out to be correct, because right now, this is still more of a question than it is a confirmation of anything. The other day, I was on the Suzette Speaks podcast, her show, her live stream, and we were talking about something that was ahead of its time a little bit. That's not yet that was confirmed to be a draft, but not the final opinion of abortion being struck down. So we were speaking in hypotheticals, and I guess right now, as of right now, where we're at today, at this very moment, this is still a hypothetical. It has not yet been confirmed, but as of right now, on what's being reported on Twitter and all around on the news, is that Kevin Samuels, influencer, image consultant, the accolades go on, is dead at age 56. And it's been multiple sources that are trying to confirm it, including one that's relatively reputable that says that they have confirmed that they can neither confirm it or deny that they have someone by the name of Kevin Samuels, which is a common name at the morgue there in the county where he resides. But whether or not it's actually him or not has not yet been confirmed. Additionally, if anybody wants to jump on in, by all means, I just dropped the link. The link is there in the description right now, so feel free to come on in if you have any additional information on this. I am actually scanning as we're going through this, and forgive me, I'm a little wet in my attire right now because I had just came in, and I came in out of the rain because it is raining out here in Texas, or in the city in which I reside at here in Texas right now. So breaking news, so to speak. I guess it's not really breaking. It's something that has been trending here on Twitter and on some of the other social media platforms, is that Kevin Samuels has passed. Again, this is more of a question for me at this time than it is an actual statement that Kevin Samuels has passed. And there's been several places, even Roland Martin, he's one who's also someone who's been looking into this. And as the information is coming up, there's a lot of people that are looking, in, kind of like me at this point, where we're asking, is there any proof to this statement that Kevin Samuels has passed? And if there is, I'm asking that anyone that does have that proof, if they wouldn't mind providing said proof of the passing of Kevin Samuels. With that being said, again, breaking news today, it was reported on Twitter. And let me just go through some of the things that I've been looking at here, because it's been a trending topic, that Kevin Samuels, who many people, including people that I respect here in this space on YouTube, people that I have subscribed to, are very and highly involved with Kevin Samuels, and have a lot of respect for the gentleman. And I reached out to quite a few people, and I have not yet heard back whether or not he has passed or has not passed, or what's going on with him. So it's the one place I guess I'm waiting to see, and I'm constantly tapping on it to see whether or not it's accurate or not accurate, is TMZ, to find out whether or not Kevin Samuels actually passed or not. And because normally they pretty much they have their finger on the pulse on whether or not something like this has happened or has not happened. And so there is a lot of information that they normally are privy to, or that they has as much of a tabloid as they are. And most people view them in a negative sense. They are normally pretty good about finding out whether or not someone has passed, or somebody who has any kind of fame or any kind of acclaim, whether or not they've passed or not. And if I'm being honest with you, as we're talking right now, I'm kind of refreshing to see whether or not there's any validity to Kevin Samuels' death from TMZ. And it's something that I have not seen them yet in reporting, and there's been a lot of other places that have been talking about it, but that is the one location that I've not yet seen them report on Mr. Samuels, on whether or not he has passed or not. So TMZ would be the one location that as a that I haven't seen it from yet, and it's the one location where I'm really they've reported on Dave Chappelle and his attack. They've reported on a lot of other things in the past, and they've been on top of the Johnny Depp situation. The one thing that they have not been doing as of right now, or the one thing that they have not talked about yet, is Kevin Samuels, and that would be that's I guess one of the places where I'm as tabloid as it might be, they are relatively reputable at the same time. So Kevin Samuels is not not there on TMZ as of right now. They have several results, but Kevin Samuels passing is not something that's there yet, unless they feel he's just not big enough to cover. But again, this is one of those things, and it is raining, so forgive me if at any time my as a anything goes out. But Kevin Samuels dead at 56 is what's being reported. Whether there's any validity to that or not, I don't know. Again, this is something that's being reported that I don't have any validity on whether or not Kevin Samuels has passed or not. Let me take a look here real fast to see if there's anything else that's going on here with Kevin Samuels.
Oh, I can't hear you. Still can't hear you.
How about now? Are you guys able to hear me now?
Yes, yes, yes. I do hear you.
Okay, outstanding. I apologize for that sound. I'm having some issues. Things are kind of topsy turvy. It's raining over here, and in the area where I'm at, the rain kind of creates some power outages. So every once in a while, my audio might pop in, pop out, or my video also did it a moment ago. And forgive my appearance. I just stepped in out of the rain, so I had an appointment. I seen this, and I was saying that just like what we were dealing with. The whole situation that's been going on with the Roe v. Wade and that being a draft opinion. We don't know for sure if this is if it's overturned, but we do know that they have said that the draft is accurate and blah blah blah. Blah. This is breaking news, so to speak, but we're not exactly sure but it hasn't been confirmed yet that Kevin Samuels has passed. I am really waiting on somebody like a TMZ to report whether or not Kevin Samuels has passed. But as of right now, there's multiple news outlets and even people such as Roland Martin are talking about. It appears that Kevin Samuels has passed. So, do you have anything additional that you might be able to add for us? Maybe you might have some information. Like I said, I'm kind of refreshing here, looking at TMZ and other news sources, trying to see if I can get some kind of validation on that. Do you have anything there for us, Mr. Ramos?
No, like I just looked on my feed and said that he passed away, and then seeing so many people say confirmed, and I was like, wow, just surreal, very surreal.
Yeah, very very surreal. And like I said, if true, it means Kevin Samuels he's passed away with cardiac arrest at age 56. That's what we have. That's what we're looking at right now. That's what's being reported from multiple news feeds and news sources. The one thing that I'm not I as much as I like to harp and say that they are a tabloid and that they are sensationalist or whatnot with TMZ, it has become very apparent that I guess that they, as tabloid as they are, that they, when it comes to things going on with celebrities, that they are Johnny on the spot. They were there about the whole Dave Chappelle situation that happened last night, and they've been very instrumental in looking at a lot of those different things that have happened. So if there is anybody, let's see, we got somebody in the comments here. It was taking interest in Grandy. Okay. Taken into he is dead is what we're getting from Brandy Clark. So Brandy Clark is reporting that he is dead as well. He was DOA when they brought him to Grady Hospital. Oh, okay. So that was the other thing that I was, because they said that they talked to the coroner there in Fulton County is what they're reporting, and Fulton can neither confirm or deny that they have someone there by the name of Kevin Samuels is what I seen another person report. But if Brandy, if you have somebody or if you are positive on that, I'm not doubting your word on it as well. So based off of what we're having here, they're saying that he was dead on arrival at Grady, I'm sorry, call it Grandy, at Grady Hospital, and I take it that was a hospital that's there in the Atlanta area. What do you think that impact is at this point, Nostradamus, on the space that Elsho G. Jackson founded the space here for the manosphere, but what do you think that's his friend Anton? Anton's confirming. Okay, so it sounds like that's a confirmation that Kevin Samuels has passed.
Yeah, I'm actually disgusted by a lot of people's response. I know about I looked into a couple clubhouse chats and just what they're saying. Just what they're saying about the man, it's like, just wow, just wow. That's why it just everything, just all this hatred and nastiness is coming out in people, just over one man and his opinions,
Yeah, that's because I think that's to be expected because anytime you listen to other people's viewpoints on it, and I don't know what's going on my screen here, but everybody seems to have a very, I shouldn't say everybody, quite a few people, especially women, happen to say he has to have a very negative or view him as being misogynistic is what a lot of people are viewing him as. However, I don't share that sentiment, but there is a viewpoint of him from some people. A lot of people are viewing it that way. Let's see. It says Brandy Clark says he was mean in his delivery, but he preached accountability for self, man or woman, and I agree with that. And I would say his delivery wasn't the greatest, but it was sensationalized, and but the messaging behind it was something where it talked about accountability. And I apologize.
Yes. Okay.
No, I apologize for cutting you off on that.
Oh no, go ahead. Man, all I'm saying is this: he lived, he died, but like me, I'm kind of in conspiracy theory land. I know about like the whole situation, how abrupt it was, and no, just by like the acronyms that he throws out, like FBI, fit, beautiful, inspirational, CIA men, just it just brings me just a little pause right here,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, like, so, and we know how, how the FBI has said that they don't want a rise of a black messiah. And, for many of people, he has become their messiah. And just going through things and just thinking things out. It's like, wow, just his impact and how quickly he has done it. We know, just the history, just the history of the government and meddling in the business of people of color, so there is some type of conspiracy theory element here for me, and yeah, and then after that, people, Anton Daniels has confirmed that he has passed away, and other people have confirmed that he has passed away, and but I'm still waiting like on those big players, because of I was always interested on where else would he go, because he has reached the top of his ranks now, and so I was always curious. I put that on a post on Facebook. I was like, hey, all right, this man has reached the top of his fame. Okay, where is he gonna go with it? Like we see other people, such as Umar Johnson. He reached the top of his fame, and what did he do? He tried to start a school, but he ended up scamming people. So I was just wondering what, is there some type of that kind of element there, and then number two, did he have his affairs in order? I think this is another PSA, public service announcements of, hey, you can be touched no matter who you are, and make sure that you have your affairs in order.
Yeah, it's interesting, because I looked at it, and I think that his affairs would be in order, but it's where, I guess the resources, because he mentioned that he's been married on a few occasions. Not only did he mention that he's been married on a few occasions, he also talked about that one of his wives, he had a fetish for Asian women. So I wonder if that's where his money went afterwards, because he accumulated a lot. So I'm wondering if that's where everything went, that as far as the affairs being in order. And I'm looking I'm trying to read these comments as I'm going through here as well, to see if anybody does want to come on up, feel free to come on up as well.
Yeah, give me a moment. I'm trying to transition into the house, so just give me a moment.
Transitioning.
I'm on transition to camera, so just give me a moment.
No worries at all. I'm sitting here right now. Let me read some of these comments while you're transitioning. We have Brandy Clark. She says he drank a lot of Red Bulls. Forgive me if
Brandy as a spelled with an I. I'm not sure as a man, male or female. So forgive me if I get this wrong. But it says he drank a lot of Red Bulls when I lived in Dallas. Teenage kids are dying from drinking hella Red Bulls. Plus, I think he was partying his ass off in ATL. I believe that you're accurate on both accounts. They're factual statements. You never know what your body can take when you get older. John Candy died of a heart attack at 63. At 6'3" and 320 pounds. Okay, let's see. It says, "What's good, fam?" From Grego. Good talking to you, brother. Let's see. It says, "I'm a woman." Okay, all right. I apologize to say, sometimes in this new age, you might say something where you assume, when I see you in Brandy, I'm like, as a dealing with a sister or brother, thank you for setting me straight, making sure that I am set straight on this. So let's see. There's a lot of information that's been going around, and for those of you guys who are just joining us, Kevin Samuels, influencer, consultant, image consultant, has been reported as being dead at age 56. That he was dead on arrival at Grady Hospital is what Brandy is stated, and it's being confirmed by Anton Daniel. I have not seen that yet, but I am trusting in what we have here in the chat. I say straight fire here. Let's see. We have I feel you. Definitely not here as well. I say, and I apologize for even impeding or saying something that would give anybody any cause for pause. That is my bad. My bad. I apologize for that. So thank you very much for feeling that humor with me on a very grim subject. Yeah, thank you very much, Gregor. Yeah, I'm got more as a what is it called, pie in the face or whatever at this point, foot in my mouth, hoof in mouth disease. So yeah. So let's see.
So here, let me ask you this: what do you think is like his lasting impact? And that's for people in the chat as well. Like, what do you think is Kevin Samuels' lasting impact on the culture?
On the culture itself, or just as a?
No, just his impact, and then what do you think his lasting impact on the culture? What do you think he'll be remembered by? Give me your thoughts.
Well, actually, I guess I'm gonna ask it back to you in a moment here, because for me, when I look at it, I think that he started a very valuable conversation for the culture, and I think that overall, like I said, we can disagree on his methods or his tactics, but his overall messaging, the accountability, and addressing issues that we were having directly in the community, I think is overall positive. Now, the overall over time, will it get whitewashed and will it be changed? I think absolutely. They've done it for Martin. They've done it for Malcolm. They've done it for quite a few people who have been influential in the culture in a positive way. And I think that overall, while we can discuss and we can nitpick about his tactics and how he went about delivering that message, I think the overall message and getting that conversation started where now we're talking to one another as black men and black women, I think that that's positive. So what do you think his impact would be? Hopefully more people will take more responsibility for self. I agree with that. Western Dominus, I guess you're still in transition, but yeah, I say that overall, that would be my understanding or my sentiment on his impact, is that I think that overall Kevin Samuels' impact is good. And forgive me, I'm sitting up here, I'm still trying to find things on any of the bigger outlets actually reporting on the fact that Kevin Samuels has passed at age 56 has been again reported by people such as Anton Daniels, and Brandy Clark here has also helped us to understand some of the specifics on his passing. It sounds like you are also, you know some people there at Grady Hospital, or know of that he was DOA at Grady Hospital. You were able to provide some details for us there that didn't have, and I didn't. As I'm looking and scrolling while I'm talking to everybody, trying to find more details behind his passing that's not being reported. And again, as I went to TMZ, trying to see if it's on TMZ. It's not being reported on TMZ at all. as a matter of fact, if you type his name in, there's only 3 results, and still the Dave Chappelle situation is front page on TMZ, and nothing yet is being. And again, Dave Chappelle, Amber Heard, and I'm Googling now to see if anyone else is reporting it. But yeah, the fact that Anton Daniels, that's more than enough proof for me. Brett has a Brandy reporting it for us, letting us know exactly that people who are close to him are actually reporting that he has passed. So I think a lot over the top copycats will be coming soon. I agree, and not in a good way. As I say, before being an image consultant, Kevin Samuels was really I'm trying to think of the night. Very hands-on with how his image was, and copyright strikes and things like that were definitely forthcoming from me if someone maligned his image in any way. So let's see. So somebody's going to try and fill his shoes. Oh, that's most definitely. Nature abhors a vacuum, so to speak. This is one of those things where there's going to be a lot of copycats, a lot of people who are going to be trying to position themselves to be the new Kevin Samuels. Is something that's going to be happening right now. Let's see, what else do we have? He said Dave Chappelle is live talking about the attack on his YouTube channel. Okay, that might be why it's strong. That's going to take a lot of the air out of the room in regards to Kevin Samuels. But the Dave Chappelle thing, for all due respect, that's something that happened yesterday, and we are today. There we go. You're a lot better than I am. I just came out. I still got wet. Well, now it's dry linen, but it was a wet linen shirt and wet linen pants running out of the rain earlier, and here you are, suited and booted. I feel completely underdressed. I went to as I was someplace else earlier, and now all of a sudden it's I am completely underdressed. So what do you have for us there, Western Thomas?
Oh, man, you gotta give me a minute to get my bearings.
No worries.
Yeah. Like when you just get in, you're like, oh, okay, well here, let me go ahead and sit down. And I just Cinco de Mayo today, and they come from a Cinco de Mayo gathering for work. So
got it.
Yeah. So yes, ate some tacos. Yeah, very good. Yeah. And happy Cinco de Mayo to everybody as well.
Yeah.
And yes.
I didn't even think about there might be significance there, but go ahead. I apologize.
Oh yeah. Yesterday was Yoda Day. May the 4th be with you. May the Force be with you. Right. Now Cinco de Mayo, and yeah. All right. Yes. All right. So back on to Kevin Samuels' legacy. For me, he'll go down as a complicated man, and he truly had love for our people and for the culture. He has said it multiple times on end. We spoke about marriages, mm-hmm. and what outcomes, and that's one thing. That's like one of the most dreaded questions you can ever have to ask yourself is like, what is the outcome you want from this? And one thing I do fear is going to be like the power vacuum that's going to happen because he has passed. Mm-hmm. And what's going to happen with the Manosphere now? He's the king, and the king is dead now. So who's going to usurp that power? What's going to happen next? Who's going to be the next? Because it seemed like there was a king that got coronated, and then after that, as soon as they got coronated, they got slayed. Derek Jackson, he was the previous king, right, of relationships, and he got slayed. Now Kevin Samuels. I pray that he's not dead, anything like that. But hey, he is the king of relationships.
Well, let me let you know that Brandy, she's saying that Anton Daniels has reported also that he's passed, and not only says Anton, but she said that he was reported DOA, dead on arrival at Great So I say I don't have any up to date news, but I'm trusting what Brandy's telling me, and I'm looking right now. I'm trying to validate or verify some of this information as well through other news sources. But I'm going with Brandy and some of the commenters in the chat letting us know that Kevin has passed. And initially, like I said, for me, I started off as a question. So unless he pops in and says no, this is not right.
Hopefully, I'm hoping. Yeah. I am hoping that is not it is false. Because for a lot of men that I have spoken with, he was like their de facto dad. And another takeaway I can take from him is be careful what you say, and be careful what you say to other people, because it just might happen to you. Because he says buy a dog alone. And
I didn't think about that at all.
That kind of what happened.
Yeah, because he ended up dying alone. I didn't even think about that. Well, he not in a relationship. Let's see. Got another comment here. It says suit. She has a Brandy Clark says suit and tie guy, and then we also have look on Tasha K community section. She put up the Grady Hospital info on Kevin. Okay, so she's saying Tasha K reported the Grady Hospital situation with Kevin. So
I will say that again, while he was here.
So this is Anton Daniels. Let me do this. I'm gonna share this. It's a 15-second clip that Anton Daniels is sharing. So give me 1 minute. I'm gonna share my screen here. Let's see if I can get this in here the way it's supposed to come in. Come on now. Why is my computer now acting up as I'm sitting up here trying to share something with you guys?
Well, it is raining over there, so.
That it is. I say it's already messed up my audio earlier and my video. So, but yeah, I say the interesting thing to me is, let's see, what is this? No, not
and
that.
I well, since we have some dead air, I guess I'll just fill it with some of the conspiracy, some of the conspiracies that I have read. I have read. I do not subscribe to any of these things. Just things that make you go, just scratch your head and say, hey, maybe this could be it. Since he did use the acronyms of FBI, CIA, and now he got too powerful, because the FBI and CIA, they always send people in, just like Huey P. Newton. He was an agent of the CIA. A lot of other some of our leaders, that we don't know, like we have 2 of them that are FBI informants. And then there's a way to take them out is by extraction, whenever they have overstayed their stay. And I know that you have it queued up now. So here, let's go. I'll turn it back over to you.
Well, let me just. This is Anton Daniels. It says Kevin Samuels dead at 56, confirmed. Question mark says loved him while he was here. So
I will say this: I loved him while he was here. That's the biggest thing. I'm not gonna tell any stories. I know I don't have any choice but to do a live stream. I mean, I got a choice, but I know that I'm.
Okay, so I guess, and that was from Anton Daniels, confirming that Kevin Samuels dead. Let me see if there's anything else here from him.
That was interesting what he said. He said he's no longer here. He did not say that he was dead.
Yeah, I'd say, but I'm also looking at it as that he has. Actually, that's by somebody else. Let me see. And forgive the speed of my internet.
Oh yeah, it's raining. What did Grego say? Put up a comment.
Okay, so let's see.
I just,
Yeah,
it's such a mess. And and I know that death is a part of life, but it's just so crazy. And I'm not even this type of person. And I know I'm gonna gather myself as a result of it, but like you don't get people that actually genuinely want you to be successful in real life. You know what I'm saying? Forget the internet. Forget all of that junk. Like that's gonna be there. The world is gonna move forward after that. But you don't get
okay. Let me just find one where it's just straight him. Let me just read these comments, and I'm gonna get back to what we're talking about here, and let me see if I can find a better one with Anton Daniels here. It says Kevin Samuels opened a Pandora's box that not too many people were brave enough to touch out here on these streets. You'll forever be a mainstay, and what he started is not about to end anytime soon. Let's see what we have from
I
Brandy.
agree.
Yeah, it says, I love conspiracy, come with it.
Already.
Says, if we're going there, then getting close to the industry folks was a sign for me. The usual suspects kick it together. Got it. It's a longer video. I'm looking for it right now. It says the video he's crying in the video. So let me see if I can find that longer video. I'm let you guys talk the conspiracy while I'm trying to get the longer video. Because for me, like I said, you said it's complicated. For me, I always chalked up to he's a human. I don't expect to agree with 100% with anybody, and I think that everybody has some issue somewhere. I don't expect perfection from any man, and I think
of course.
in looking at, does he have failings or could he have screwed up along the way? Absolutely, most definitely. I'm not expecting any perfection. So for me, the complication is there really isn't a whole lot of complication. He's human. So long as your tactics are, for the most part, like I said, I think most people or most women would state that it was harsh in his delivery, but the accountability was accurate. That we both, men and women, he came after both sides equally as far as needing to be accountable. Could his delivery have used some work? Most definitely. Or I shouldn't say could have used some work, because it catapulted him where he was going or where he was trying to get to. But yeah, I said, I'm going to leave that while I try and find this video of Anton Daniels talking about Kevin Samuels.
One thing I always think about is, he was a cancer survivor, and like whenever you have those bouts with death, it makes you kick in, make you find your purpose real quick, because you know that your time is very finite, like in this world, and then of course, like whenever you get up there, over the age of 50, that you have more years behind you than you have ahead of you. And for him, just in 2-3 short years, just to take over the internet, it had to be remarkable. You may not like the man, may not agree with his teachings or anything like that, but you have to respect his grind, because he was all over the map. He was all over the map. Just traveling, and just trying to get out his message, and
what's going on is Anton from Anton Daniels.
Okay, so as I agree with all of that, let me jump into it. I don't know how much of this I'm going to play, but I want to take a look at what Anton Daniels had to say in regards to it as well. So let me flip it back over here real fast. And
Daniels.com. I appreciate y'all for continuing to ride with me.
This is Anton Daniels talking about it.
It's been a rough week. It's been a really, really, really rough week. And it's just crazy how things play out, and things that you can never predict. And I don't even know what to say right now. Honestly, I'm just really getting out my thoughts. And I don't even know if I can say what I really want to say. But this is what I will say. Kev was a really good friend of mine. He was somebody that I loved, appreciated. We had a lot of deep conversations off the books. I mean, behind the scenes. And I cherished my friendship with him so much so that it's funny, because all of the things that we talked about, and it's almost like I wish I could tell y'all some of the stuff that we talked about because it was so insightful and it was so much love, and it was just like, you know what I'm saying? When we connected, he reached out to me first. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to rock with me. And
I'm gonna pause it real fast because what I'm still waiting for is I want him to say his full name. At the beginning, he said Kev was. I'm waiting for him to say Kevin Samuels, but I want him to it says Kevin Samuels was a real friend and showed me a lot of love. Did a lot in his short time here, and that was his title from Anton Daniels on his channel. So I'm assuming that that's the Kev that he's talking about, but I'm not he hasn't mentioned Kevin. He hasn't said Kevin Samuels' full name yet, but let me let it continue on. Give me a moment.
the first time that I met him, I will share this with you guys. The first time that I actually met him, that I kicked it with him, was way before we ever visibly connected online. It was way before any kind of video collaboration. It was way before we ever jumped on the Lapeef Let's Talk show with each other. The first time that we ever connected was in Miami, right? We really tapped in and we linked up, and it was really dope. And it was actually, it's crazy. I will say this: I loved him while he was here. That's the biggest thing. I'm not going to tell any stories. I know I don't have any choice but to do a live stream. I mean, I got a choice, but I know that I'm going to have to live stream and really, really deep dive and go into this and things like that. But I loved him while he was here. And very few people can say that. It's a lot of people that capitalized off of him. It's a lot of people that's clout chasing off of him. It's a lot of people that smeared his name and did all kind of negative things in videos. And no matter what happens, no matter what you say, no matter what comes along with it, you're going to have to eat that, because at the end of the day, you're going to have to go to sleep with yourself, understanding that you was a hateful person while he was here. And that's the biggest thing that I want to emphasize to people. And I know it's the unconventional message, but I'm an unconventional person, and I've never, ever, and he's always told me, Anton, don't worry about being like everybody else. Be unapologetically you. Focus on what it is. And sometimes he tried to give me certain advice, and I will push back, or I would give him some advice and he would laugh and stuff like that. But the most important thing was that I've been loyal. I always was loyal. You never heard me say one negative thing about him out of my mouth. It was never about that. It was never about clout chasing. I never once asked him to be a part of my show. Never once asked him to jump on my live stream in order to do anything specifically or anything like that. And it's a lot of content creators like that. And he offered a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't about that. I was just so appreciative of our friendship, and when he did jump on and cam up and whatever, you know what I'm saying? When he jumped on the Lapeef network and things like that, that was enough for me. You know what I'm saying? Because the friendship was more important than, any kind of visibility that came with us being friends offline. And that's the thing, man. Like, y'all have to genuinely start caring for people, genuinely want the best for people, genuinely loving them when they're here. Because if this is not the biggest example of what happens when...
So he was going in, I guess, talking a lot about their relationship and things that have happened during the time of their relationship, and he feels that Kevin Samuels has been disparaged by a lot of people. I'm still waiting. I want to hear him mention Kevin Samuels by name, but let's continue.
Me too.
I mean, I don't even want to predict nothing. I don't want to do none of that. I don't even want to talk about the fallout that happens as a result of it. All I want to do is show him love. I love and I appreciated him while he was here. Always had his back, still have his back. And however it's going to play out, it's going to play out. But just understand this. You know what I'm saying? Let this be a wake up call for people in that we don't have forever. You know what I'm saying? We always plan for and we anticipate being here forever or here till we 80 and 90. But I'm just saying that our time can be gone tomorrow. I live every single day and I leave it on the floor. I leave nothing to chance. It's the main reason why I started documenting my journey. And a lot of y'all have heard me say this over and over and over again. The reason that I got on YouTube in the first place was to document the journey so that my legacy and my life, people would be able to lean on that and say, okay, this is what he messed up in. This is what he had successful. But more importantly, this was his thoughts and this is the legacy that he's leaving. I leave it all on the table every single day.
So it sounds like now he's trying to be a little more introspective, and I guess I'm gonna pause it there. We'll come back to it in a moment. I want to get a couple of these comments in here real fast. So we have Brandy Clark. She says, "When I saw Nicki Minaj, I knew he was stepping into some arena, but the industry gives you most of what you love, then snatches it away and leaves people thirsty. They're either broke or dying for what's the rest of this? Some more fame." They become controlled. That's and there was something that you mentioned. I guess let me ask you to before I get back into Anton. You mentioned you said that while he was here, he kept saying while he was here. What is it that triggers for you? Because you're saying while he was here. What is that you said you keyed off of with that?
Because like it's all right. I don't know about you, but I've had people who died in my family. Mm-hmm. And most people are a straight shooter about things, and we don't talk around the issue. We talk to the issue, and going probate, doing probates and things like that. Like you talk about the issues, like, hey, while he was here, so where did he go? Or did he pass away? Or like headlines that he died, or or another way of saying it, hey, did he transition? No, but while he was here, that's just not language that I'm familiar with. And then we're talking about people passing, and it's very vague. It's very vague because in things like this, we need a definite answer. And if we can't get that definite answer, then, can you, and, he's part of, I think that Mr. Daniels is a part of the inner circle. So he'd be more privy to the information than we are. I'm just an outside observer. I never met the man, never seen the man, never met Anton Daniels or anything like that, Mr. Daniels at all. Don't get me wrong, I've seen a couple videos. Same like with Mr. Samuels, you see some videos and things like that, or start seeing some snippets. But for you just to describe that, hey, he's no longer with us, so can you be more definite? If he was being examined or cross-examined, it's like, hey, we need a more definite answer. Is or is he not?
That I guess that's my attorney brain thinking as well, because I'm thinking like, is or isn't he? Can you give me the definitive answer? The alluding to things, and I guess it goes to what Brandy's saying here as well. She says the government does have a thing where you can legally fake your own death.
That is facts.
Says I think
like
he
Epstein.
Yeah, and she's saying that she does think that he passed. So yeah, looking at it, it's like you have quite a few people Epstein, I don't know if they faked his death. It seemed like he was in more trouble than it was worth. Mm-hmm. They got rid of him. If I'm looking at it, it's like
he didn't die like in that prison. So I can tell you, my conspiracy theory says this conspiracy theory. I'm not saying I have no personal knowledge of this, no prior knowledge. It's all mere speculation. But from the evidence and how jails work and things like that,
for me, my conspiracy, I'm on the other side of the conspiracy. I'm on the conspiracy that he pissed off the wrong people, and he thought he got a little too big for his britches, and they were like, "You got to go." that's the direction. But I want to come back to Kevin Samuels. We'll talk to Epstein on another.
Yeah, another one. Because I'm about to say, like, man, he did run a Ponzi scheme, you know, and made a whole bunch of people mad. Then rolled that money into blackmailing people. But back on to Mr. Samuels is like, to me, like, with speaking with Brandy, going back in the conspiracy realm, it can be, like him hanging out with celebrities. I think him hanging out with celebrities is like, I don't believe like in the quote unquote, hey, these people are Illuminati. All they are, they're just like a fraternal order of police or a union or anything like that. Of course, actors are going to hang out with each other. All right, so it's no Illuminati type thing. But with the life with actors and you stepping in that lifestyle, you're going to be partying. All right, and I think somebody alluded to it earlier. Hey, he drank a whole bunch of Red Bulls. I think every time that you see him do a show, he was drinking Red Bulls. And hey, could it be? Hey, he tried something. Like, we don't know. Is it some type of fentanyl type thing? There's so many things you can speculate. Or hey, did somebody follow him home? Then off them. If that's the case, there's so many. Like, the Pandora's box is actually open because we just don't know. And just to recount his final hours, and I'm looking for all like the theories. And hey, I'm a fan of them. And I always love alternative thought. But just the irony of it and how quickly it happened. Or is it like, hey, he knew he was sick? I know, just like a Chadwick Boseman, like, hey, he knew he was sick. He knew he had a finite time, and and finally he kept on going until he's like, hey, I'm gonna rock till the wheels fall off. It can be a whole multitude of things, but just based off how he came in, especially talking about the FBI, CIA men, and all the other sign language. I always use acronyms and things like that. That has references to the government, and with that in itself makes me skeptical.
Okay.
Just that in itself, just like, hey, just say, here, let me ask more questions about this. Because I understand, like, hey, the cool little pet names, for you to memorize and things like that, and but just knowing how, like, people, we always have dualism about everything, right? It's like, hey, a lot of people have dualism. Like, you're not the same person you are at work than when you are at home. You're not the same driver that you are when you're driving to work, and whenever you're driving on the weekend, you're not the same driver. So there's a lot of dualism, and I think that can be like a nice little dualistic thing. Also, hanging out with the celebrities and things like that is, all right, you had to be accepted to even be in that group. So, like, did he do anything? Did he be accepted in the group? There's just so many possibilities. And but let me just share this sentiment. Like, I give my condolences to his family, and to the people who knew him and loved him. It's just rather unfortunate, and the value that he brought to the community is immeasurable, and he'll be remembered for that, and a lot of people say, oh, he just say things just for clout and saying things because his numbers are dipping and things like that. But I think at the true heart of him, he truly loved the culture, and he saw that the culture was sick, and it showed me just the power of one person standing up and speaking up, and the power of YouTube and the power of your platform. You really have to watch out with what you say. I'll pass it back over to you.
I say so. Going back to it, let me read some of these comments. It says the guard she's talking about Epstein here. She says the guards moved out of the way and let whoever come in and kill Epstein. Next one down, the cameras weren't working and everything. Next one down. Let's see. Partying with people with more money, they get the clean drugs. I agree with that. Bill Cosby is an example of that to me.
Steve Francis as well, basketball player, former Houston Rocket. Have you seen him lately?
Yeah.
Oh.
It says some people can't take the pure stuff. And here's another aspect of it, because I know some people are like, well, I don't, I say maybe he knew he didn't have a whole lot of time. I don't know. I say, because when you start talking about it, and the only reason I say I don't know, he started investing a lot more money into his production value. I watched something he did with TLA, the lead attorney, that he did from Florida, from Miami. Before then, he started talking about the number of cameras he was bringing in. A lot of times he would be on other people's, or he would drop in on somebody else's stream, and he's talking about, let me get in here because I need to go learn more about how this camera works, or how this, I'm still fussing with this audio. And so all of these are things that tell me that he was trying to expand the visual quality and the quality of his streams and the quality of his production overall, which leads me to believe that if you're doing all that stuff, it's possible that he knew he was on his way out, or that he had something along those lines. But I think more along the lines of like what you guys have alluded to, both you and Brandy here, both Westradamus, has where he was. The circles he started running in, as well as not just the circles he was running in, but the lifestyle he was living with, much of the Red Bulls and the things like that are not really known to be good for you. She alluded to John Candy as well, being somebody who, and you talked about Steve Francis now, but people who've passed early, like I said, in 56 to me, that's early, and maybe because I'm close to 56, or as I'm
Still young.
Yeah.
Still young.
Yeah, so to me, I'm like, that's earlier than my parents are way. I'm like, that's my grandmother. She's 8. I'm like, that is a 56. That is
Yeah, that's early. That's way early, and just parties. And one thing I will be interested into just I think we're now going to really start learning about Kevin Samuels now. I think a lot more people will start coming out and telling their story, and hopefully we'll be able to do like an update on on all the stuff that actually comes out, just like a summary, of everything's going on, because I know people are coming out. I do see that Tasha K has been on it.
Take a look and see if somebody has Tasha, has she got anything additional as we're talking. But yeah, I say she's been on this quite a bit, and she is definitely not a fan.
Yeah, man. Well, she's still salty over that whole Cardi B thing. So, and she's gonna be salty over that whole thing. And she should have listened. But people were trying to tell her, it's like, hey, man, but she should have listened. So the only person that she can truly be mad at is herself on that particular occasion. But back on to Mr. Samuelson. Let's go back to conspiracy theory land. We're just searching thoughts. It's mere speculation. Do you think there's a possibility somebody was in there with them?
That's definitely possible. For him to go to for them to say, and I just dropped the link again. Anybody who wants to catch on, who does want to pop on in and come on up and say something else. But and I'm going to ask that you cam up before coming on up, just so I don't want to have an Anton Daniels Lapeef network. I just need to be able to see you in the back if you're going to come on up. But back to what you were just asking, Westradamus, I think that somebody more than likely was in there with him for him to be there at the hospital to arrive or to getting to the hospital. Even if it's the coroner's going to go get him, how did they know that he had passed that quickly? Because his last
he has.
Because he had a live stream, and then it's like to know it that quickly. I don't. Makes me think. Let's see. Like it was better than Brandy. She's 49. Yeah, I'm about a year or two right behind you, Miss Brandy. So yeah, I'm in that same boat. So 56. That doesn't seem too far away to me, and I guess I'm projecting. But yeah, that's definitely something that I'm looking at. I'm like that's not that long off as all. Let me see what we have here as well. What else do we have? It says it would be a shock if the gay community comes out and claims. Man, if the gay community comes out and claims Kevin after, okay, hold on, I'll come meet me. Spring Chicken at Brandy Clark. most definitely. I say, but yeah, I say,
hey, man, she proud.
yeah. But if this turns out to be, if they come out, oh my goodness, the backlash on that, right there, because he was like, everybody keeps on saying it. He said, no, he said on multiple occasions that no, he's not, but everybody wants to say it because they're angry. It'll be interesting because now he's not here to defend himself, that they're going to come out and claim him. That will be interesting. Now, they wait until he cannot claim the man is passed. There is no way that he can defend himself, and the only thing you can do is get that those don't even come up under. I was thinking about the hearsay exceptions for when you thinking that your death is imminent, but he didn't even know it was imminent. So but that's the only thing. And they're like,
oh yeah, dying declaration or something like that. Yeah.
Let's see how Greg. Look and feel young. That's what matters. I agree. That's exactly what matters. But yeah, I am flabbergasted. Go ahead.
One thing I do want to say is I really don't think people really didn't like Kevin Samuels, didn't like his delivery. But I think what people do not like, I think this might be the people who ran into the followers of Kevin Samuels, the cult of Kevin Samuels, and how they were acting towards people, knowing that they weren't in his in the group of people he was talking about. He was talking about high value men. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of people adopted that, knowing that they weren't that. And then they start attacking people as they were high value. And I think that's what really caused like the tension for Mr. Samuels in the malcontent forum, is a lot of people were ran into their followers, and then the followers of Kevin Samuels really drove home that point to the point of lunacy for some women. And since he kind of died like kind of at the height of his fame, I think he's going to have like somewhat of like the Jesus thing or Tupac thing. You know, people still even like people still don't think like hey, Tupac is dead or Tupac's still alive, or the whole Jesus thing, so he's gonna end up getting deified, to certain respects, and my opinion.
I agree. I say if it all turns out like what we're talking about, I think that's exactly right. Let's see. We have a woman supposedly called 911 is what we have from Brandy Clark. So it looks like so definitely somebody was in there with him at the time, and somebody did talk as a call it in. So I highly doubt. Well, unless it's maybe if he's in a high rise in a condo, maybe. But even then, I don't know. It just seems more plausible to me that someone was there with him and someone who called in and why would be DOA going into Grady. So let's see. And I'm trying to see.
Here, give me 1 second. I'm going to go grab my charger real quick.
No worries. So I'm off and then. No worries. I say I'm gonna try and fill that dead space. You know what? As a matter of fact, let me go back here while you're doing that. I'm gonna play a little more of this Anton Daniels and see what else might be there for everybody on Anton Daniels and his statements about Kevin Samuels passing. So this is Anton Daniels, close friend, somebody who's in that inner circle. Let's see, what do we have here? We have another comment here from Brandy as well. Give me 1 second while my computer refreshes. Says. It says, I'm a delivery guy. It says, the undelivered guy said that he heard stuff about Kevin Samuels, but he does lie a lot. Let's see. What else do we have here? Let's make myself smaller.
here as well. And let's play Anton Daniels real fast because it seems like that might be clogging me up here real
And the
fast.
one thing that absolutely sticks with me every time I think about him is that he always used to push me and say, and it's the reason why I go so hard today. He used to say, Anton, I know you ain't gonna let a 50-year-old man outwork you. I know you ain't gonna let a 50-year-old man outwork you. He said that you way further along than I was when I was 40. So I know you ain't gonna let a 50-year-old man outwork you. And so that's what I did. I just worked, I grind, and it was just a part of my DNA. And he knew how to leverage the thing that was most important to me and how to push me, which was one of the reasons why I valued him as a friend and not as just a content creator. Very few people can say that they had real conversations and, you know, had his personal phone number and kicked it with him on that type of level and can call him, or he would call me or whatever, and he would hit me up and say, Time Dog, you want to fly to New York and you want to go and pick up some Rolexes and stuff like that. This is nuts. This is absolutely nuts. It don't even seem real. It just does not seem real.
I'm gonna point it
If
there.
Kev has ever done anything for you, whether he's forced you to hold yourself accountable, or if you ever made a video about him and made $1 off of his name, if you've ever benefited from any of his advice, if you start to think differently, or he even forced you to start taking into consideration who you are as a person so that you can get better results in any way. And this goes especially for the people that had personal conversations with him and that was friends with him. And I know a lot of y'all. I know a lot of y'all that had personal conversations with him, because we never talked about other people, but he would mention, yeah, I talked to this person, or yeah, I talked to that person. If you've ever had any kind of personal interaction with Kevin, please do not smear his name. Do not start clout chasing and start trying to use this in order to try to get yourself up and all of that. Real talk. Straight up. You got this video.
So yeah, let me answer this question. I just realized that there's a question that just came across. Says, I guess I'm out of touch. I seen him in passing on the net. Who is he? Kevin Samuels is an influencer. He is an image consultant. He's the guy who started a lot of these conversations, gospel news, in regards to black men and black women. He's the guy who had a video out, and I would encourage anyone, the one that put him on, because he's had multiple years of videos at this point on YouTube. He's a YouTube influencer, but the average at best would probably be the one that would give you a better sense of him. Let's see, who else do we have in here? Let's see, that's right, suit and tie guy. What's your name? That's going to be Westradamus. Let's see, and I feel for you, Windows users at Savior. Must be a Mac dude. I feel that. So let's see. Stay safe, y'all. The old man needs his beauty sleep. I got you. Peace out to you there, Brother Grego. And got you on the emoji there at the end. All right. So, but yeah, so it looks like Anton Daniels, he's really into really going in right now on the legacy of Kevin Samuels and his impact. So I'll be honest with you. This it was shocking news to me. It's on the Twitters. It's on all the stuff. And as soon as I got in, decided I was going to sit there and hop on and go over all of as a Kevin Samuels passing. And it looks like for all intents and purpose, everything that I can see as of right now. And I guess I'll watch the rest of this video, him crying and the like afterwards, because it looks like this is that same video where it looks like Anton.
Yeah, it looks like a continuation.
Yeah, I say so. I'll watch the rest of it and see what comes up from that. But I am really curious as to the cause of death for Kevin Samuels. They're saying heart attack. I am curious as to if it was a heart attack. Let's see.
Yeah, I saw like cardiac arrest,
Yeah.
and which is different from heart attack.
Yes, it will be different.
Yeah, that is different. Normally, man, I'm not about to speculate or anything like that, man. I'm just gonna say like, hey, he lived, he died. It seemed like he lived on his own terms, and it seems like he, hopefully, he died on his own terms. But normally, like when people say cardiac arrest and things like that, it's, it has to do with some type of usage, or something speeding up your heart, So I don't know if you're a wrestling fan, Triple H, he had a cardiac event that happened to him, and that happened to him based off his abuse of steroid performance enhancing drugs, the designer stuff, not just steroids, but you might take HGH or any of the other designer drugs and things like that, because he's had a bodybuilder physique for over 20 years, so yeah, so he had a cardiac event. You look at bodybuilders, they're dropping dead, and very young, they're dropping dead at like 20, 27 and things like that, yeah, just and then for this one, of course we've seen the stories of people who drink a whole bunch of Monster drinks and things like that.
Correct.
They have died from a cardiac arrest. So yeah, it's like, to me, it's just man. It just okay. Can I ask you about this? Like, how'd you get turned on to Kevin Samuels?
The Average at Best video is the first time I ever seen anything dealing with Kevin Samuels. That was my introduction to Kevin Samuels was the Average at Best video.
Oh, okay. And see, mine was, I was like in fragrances at the time.
Okay.
And there was this group of people, these fragrance concierges, and they actually made a video about him, of how like he'll go up to the counter and he'll either try to get a free sample or he'll buy it, use it, and then return it back. I know that was my first introduction to him, and then they're like, "Oh, Kevin Samuels, okay, well, don't know who the guy is."
I think I just lost. Hopefully, let's see. Is my internet connection working? Because it looks like I just lost Westradamus. Let me start closing some of this stuff on the back end. Maybe that might be it. I'm on fiber, so it should not matter, but let's see. Let me read some of these comments here. So we have cardiac wrecks. You usually don't make it. I agree with that. Let's see. What else do we have here? Also, Schwarzenegger had a quadruple bypass from them steroids. Yes, he absolutely did. Let me go back. I didn't read some of these, so let me go back and catch some of these other comments that were there as well. I don't feel bad not knowing, but he's a who's who in the Black community in the age of leaving. I agree with that. Gospel News Anton can say don't talk about it, but everyone's talking about it and making videos about Kevin. I think that the point Anton was trying to make was just don't try and smear his name. But I'm sure that there are going to be quite a few people. Let's see. I've seen him. He's probably not a user. Probably it's just his time. I could see that as well. But he was high. I don't know. I shouldn't say high, but he did like to drink. That was a bad choice of words. He did like to drink a lot of Monster energy drinks. So say, okay, let's continue dropping this down. See if I can catch up here. See, a black bodybuilder just died. Bodybuilders and wrestlers. One of the things that Wes Jones was talking about. Those guys who are habitual. You think that they're very healthy, are not the healthiest people because of the therapeutics that they like to be on. I guess I'll put it that way. Let's see, what else do we have? We all have an expiration date, people. Don't assume. Worst. I agree. We all do have an expiration date. In his 40s. Yeah. I've seen them die in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. Let's see. But they're saying it's from his diet. I would highly believe that it has something to do with things that he's ingested. Now, whether or not, if my conspiracy theory had, I don't, like I say, he started to dabble in that Hollywood field where he was on the Video of Future. He was on with Nicki Minaj, as you mentioned, Brandy. But he didn't strike me as somebody who was that deep in yet. That's where my reservation to go completely put on my tinfoil hat. Normally I'll put my tinfoil hat on and I'm running with it. But because he wasn't that deep into it, and he wasn't as well established in that Hollywood field yet, that's kind of where I kind of back off on it. But there might be some other things, like what Westradamus talked about, his use of the analogizing using CIA and FBI and the like for his acronyms. Could be something that's there, but I'm not exactly sure on because it's not that hard to sit there and spike somebody's drink, especially if you know that they're a huge Red Bull fan. And Red Bull, like if you get a Red Bull sponsorship, they'll send you Red Bulls. And I'm pretty sure that at some point he was coming close on that Red Bull sponsorship. And I've seen plenty of other YouTubers who have nowhere near the following that Kevin had, and that are sponsored by Red Bull. So I could definitely see that as well. Putting on my tinfoil hat. Let's see. Says, why can't it just be his time? It could be. It definitely could be. But a lot of times I don't think that it's. A lot of times I don't think it's just an individual. I shouldn't even say that. When someone's in the limelight or somebody's in the spotlight, I always question whether or not it's their time or not, and only because when there's things that they don't want, or if there's a messaging that they don't like to hear for us to hear, or if they don't agree with the messaging. I'm trying to remember the name of there is a reporter, and he was a white guy. This wasn't a black guy, and he was
David Webb.
Huh?
David Webb.
Yeah, I say reporting on Bill Clinton and things that the Clintons did, and they found that he had committed suicide, and he had committed suicide by shooting himself in the face twice. So it was either he was, and I've seen people who back in my military days, and I'm trying to not get. Let me mix these two. There's a couple of these I'm gonna mix up, so I don't get too specific. One of them was on my boat, and it had guys that we used to call it the euphemism for people who are leaving us that way is so we don't get flagged here, but it's self-terminating. So I'm not a lot of times what they'll do. That we would call the term that we use for the self-termination in the military was relieving the watch in my branch. And one of the gentlemen, he called himself trying to get out of the military, and he had a unique way on how he did it, where he stuck a pistol here, and it left a mess, to say the least. It wasn't here. There was another guy on the boat that was there, and there was but anyway, long story short, just from that, there was only one shot fired, and not multiple shots fired. And that was he wasn't able to. The intent was to have multiple shots fired, and he only had one that was done because of the pain or that it inflicted. So to decide to leave this earth and have it put on that was how you did your self-termination, and I shouldn't have used that word when I did it initially. I apologize, because I'm sure that I'm going to hear from the YouTube gods here, but yeah, that's one reason why I don't ascribe that to that's what possibly could have happened all the time. It says, my friend from high school died at 35. Just yeah, I've seen that as well. And let's see, that was the CIA as a
Yeah, David Webb. Yeah.
let's see, unless he was free, the minds. Let's see, unless
And another person we can throw in there is journalist Tim Russert. He's a person who, like when Bush and Kerry was running back in 2004,
Mhm.
or was it 2000? Yeah, 2004 election. And that's when he brought up like Skull and Bones, 320, 322, and soon after that one,
Steve Coakley.
so because no, people are always talking about conspiracy or he just could have died and things like that. No, that's very, very plausible, but the thing about it is just seeing what he was doing, like, he was upgrading everything. So everything was trending up.
Yeah.
And since he was trying to trend up, he's trying to rebrand because he had a new signature and things like that. And, you see that, I'm trying to go to the next level, or I'm trying to start making some deals. And because I heard there was rumors of him trying to reach out to Oprah to get, to get on to get a show and things like that. So I heard rumblings of that. So like he was trying to traject to go up, and and I do understand like people just suddenly die and things like that. But do you think he planned to die like that, or do you
No.
think that was in his plans? Because like most people, hopefully we get to live old enough to that age. Is we want to die with our family around us, and I believe that common knowledge, because he always spoke about men always want something to outlive themselves and things like that. And it seemed like he was probably, I don't know him personally, but he seemed like he was a family man. So just unfortunate. And going back before my phone cut off, I do apologize about that.
So we're getting last word before we cut out. We're almost an hour and 30 in, so I'm getting ready to cut out of here. But I just want to give you the last word before we cut on out.
Okay. I'm going to just take this time to start talking just to people. And, from every person you meet or every person you watch, you can always learn a lesson, even from a baby. And one of the lessons you can learn from here is you don't know when your number is going to be called. And knowing that, you have to make sure that you put measures in place, therefore the people that you do leave behind. And if you truly love them, I understand that people are self-centered in nature and very selfish, and we get that, but please think about the people who love you and take care of them. Go get you a will. All right, if you don't want to go see an attorney, all right, write down on a piece of paper right here. Just write on a piece of paper right here. Write on a piece of paper. All right. Just write down, house goes to here, this goes to here, this goes to this person. All right. That can be a self-proof will. And just start getting your affairs in order, because you just don't know. And the second thing is be careful at what you say to people and how you say it to them, because it could be a catch-22, and that might be the way you might go out. And number 3 is be legacy minded. What do you want to leave behind? Like, what do you want to actually be known for? And a lot of people, that goes over their head. Like, if you were to die, if you were to pass away, let's say 5 years from now, okay, what is going to be your legacy? What do you want to be known for? And one of the things that Kevin's going to be known for, he went out as king. He was king of the relationship game, and he was trying to put Black people back together. Ultimately, that was his goal. And so the question is, You know, I want to end it with what his question that he always asks people. So, what are the outcomes? Are you getting the outcomes you're actually desiring? And if you're not getting the outcomes you're actually desiring, you got to switch it up, right?
Very much.
So, all right. So, I wish people peace, happiness, and love to you. My name is Wester Damas, and yeah, I'm out.
Outstanding. And in case you guys aren't following, we're just talking about the fact that it's been confirmed from Anton Daniels. Tasha K has also reported on it that Kevin Samuels, YouTube influencer, image consultant, has passed at 56 years of age. Looks like he passed. He was dead on arrival at Grady Hospital. Anton Daniels on his channel, the Anton Daniels channel, has reported on it as well. We played some of the clips from his video, or some clips from the videos that he talked about it. So feel free to go there. And I echo those sentiments that you had, because for me, I always like to live my life as if every moment or the next moment could be my last. And that's how I want to. That's how I like living my life at this point. Let's see. So I don't have my affairs together, says Brandy. I
You got to start.
Yeah, as I always start, like I said, I'm that Malcolm X line of I live as if as a man who's already died, and I think that's a good mindset to have, is to look at it, if I died today, as a how would I feel if this was my last breath that I took. And that's how I like to live my life. So with that being said, I know I didn't tell you guys when we started this off, and again, a very somber stream that we're having today with Kevin Samuels passing, but I love you. I hope that you guys had a great day, aside from this news of Kevin Samuels passing, and may you always, always, always be blessed with peace. And with that, we're out, and thank you guys for joining us.